Hey guys, welcome back. As promised, I'll do a technical analysis video today on 18 March 2021 for Tesla. So I want to debunk this myth of people calling technical analysis a man's astrology. This is not true. So why we use technical analysis? We have to think in terms of the institutional investor and money manager's perspective. What do they want? So we use quick first principles and understand their job is to make as much money as possible for their clients or their pension funds or to protect companies from getting manipulated. So if their goal was to make as much money as possible, what are the ways they can do to make money? So first, they can grow the pie, meaning to say they invest in companies that can grow well over a long period of time. And the company gets bigger and bigger and the pie gets bigger and bigger and everybody becomes more and more prosperous. That is a longer way of approach. So another alternative method is to snatch the pie. So what they can do is they make investing and trading a zero-sum game. For them to win, you have to lose. And you are a retail investor and they are the institutional investor. They have the order flow, they have the information, they have everything beforehand. And what they can do is they can scare the shit out of you by manipulating the market. Even though you have high conviction in a company, they can scare you off by purposely selling what is a good company. So in that way, they force you to panic and make you panic sell. So another way they can make money is they do IPO and then they buy all the shares pre-IPO, and then when IPO they release and dump all the shares to retail investors. So how technical analysis helps is that we can track their movement because only institutions have the capability to move the markets because they have the financial backing and the volume to push a price up and down, up and down. It's not something that retail investor can do. So one of the way technical analysis helps is that we track their movement through volume and we can see where they are buying and selling and how they are manipulating the market. And from there, we can derive a low-risk entry or a good exit plan. I also use technical analysis to use volume and find the support and resistance. So in this video, I will show you how I do it. This is the chart I drew for Tesla. It helps me for my options trading when I use it to time my exit and time my entry. This is a good way to find a low-risk entry and then a good way to plan my exit also. So I want to explain a few things. What are point of extremes? So point of extremes are areas that price reject harshly. The moment they reach this area, the price bounces and then we hardly ever go back to this area. So this is called point of extreme. You can look here, point of extreme for the top as of now is 1.2k. And what is point of control? Point of control is where prices will fluctuate around this area and then they will have their own support and resistance. And you can see between the point of extreme and point of control, the prices are bouncing between this area and then they slowly get rejected or bounce off or they break the resistance. Same for this area, between the two point of control. So you can see it bounces and then it bounces again. For the volume, I identified this area as the highest volume and no retail investor can move the market by this much. So let's say Tesla is a 700 billion company. For them to move 10% or 20% movement in a day, they will need about $70 billion. No retail investor have $70 billion, not even Liu Koguan. So it is obviously their movement, and this will signify a great resistance and support. So if the prices soar above and then it comes down, this will be a support. And vice versa, if it goes down and then it comes up, this will be a resistance. If you don't believe me, I will prove to you. So we see from this area, we drag it. So recently, Tesla price crashed, correct? And then we reach this candle, reach all the way to this area, and then it bounces off. And then bounces off to this point of control, and then it bounces back up. So do you guys see how powerful technical analysis can be? So another candle I found to be quite useful is this area, the $950 to $1,000. So this is another area. Within this area is another like war zone that they will fight. Prices will support, reject. So you can see they are bouncing between zones and zones. So how does manipulation happen? Manipulation happens when the stock is not valued at the correct pricing. So institutions instill fear in you. They make you question your conviction, and then they make price movement that does not make sense to retail investors. So for example, we can look at the 900 tops at January 21st, and then they start selling off. And then we always think that 700 is the logical area that it should be, but they start selling to 500. they try to rally up again and then to sell off another time to make people question their own conviction. And then after that, what they do, and then they start accumulating quietly. They start accumulating here, and then boom, they just start buying and push the price up all the way to 1.2k in a short matter of September to November. So knowing this, how it helps me is that during this period, I noticed around here that something was wrong, and then I do a lot of, so I personally do a lot of selling put option, and then I keep a lot of cash to sell partial cash cover put option. I keep a lot of cash, and then I did not buy the shares. So when I know that the accumulation is going to be over, I started buying a lot of shares, and then I started making a lot of videos. You can check it out on my YouTube history. So this is when I bought a lot of shares, and then it rallied all the way. So now, what I want to say is the smart money and institution is selling. Interest rates are increasing. I don't see Tesla is recovering quickly, and they are going through another manipulation phase. So they will manipulate and make big retail investors shake off their investor holding and make them question their own conviction. So we are at this same period again. So where I will start buying Tesla, we can use technical analysis to time our lowest entry and see where we want to buy our Tesla stocks. So where I will buy is, I can see that this part is, especially from this area, it is rejected. But is there further weakness? I'm not so sure. But where is a good area to buy? I would say is below this point of control. Any price below this point of control to this point of extreme, these areas are good areas that you can start buying and loading up. But I foresee some more bloodshed happening, so it is good to have a long-term investment horizon because we are now in a bear market and have a holding power. So again, any price below this point of control will be when it touches 690 is a good price of point of entry. Anything from 760 to 690 is good. Anything below 665 to 550 is a steal. So this is a very strong selling force from institution. I expect the movement to be sideways on this point of control. And if any given time you get to buy at these areas, I think this is a very, very good entry point. You can keep a lookout. So let me just show you where's the price level. So point of extreme is 550. Then the next support area is 664, 690, 760 is the next resistance or support. And in between here is point of control, so prices will fluctuate here and there is no clear support or resistance, but the next resistance is 900, 952, 1025 and 1002. Okay guys, if I help you out in this video, do help me out by liking this video, help me subscribe to my channel. I want to grow this channel as fast as possible. I want to get to 1.5k subs, eventually to 2k, 3k and then to 10k. Thank you so much for your help. I will see you next week.